Good. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is creating your future. It's about a major change that has happened in the Internet. In fact, it's not only happened in the Internet, this is a change in the very DNA of the web. Some people call this Web 2.0. Other people call it social media. Some people call it social networking. I like to call it social marketing. The process of using social media to actually drive people to your website, have them be more prepared to buy things from you, as well as generating significant search engine rankings as a result of that. So using these tools in the marketing process. As you do that, it generates instant rankings, huge amounts of traffic, and great conversion. So now that I've given you the raw stuff, the stuff that gets my blood pumping, now I want to show you some stuff that really should get your blood pumping. You're all aware of the concept that Google rules, that wherever Google is, it tends to get tremendous amounts of traffic, and it just controls so many things. Well, I want to show you a couple of little facts here. So Google rules, there's an interesting concept. So this is the number of page views for Google in the blue and Facebook in the red. You'll see here's Google and here's Facebook coming right up on it. And so Facebook gets almost as much traffic, daily page views, as Google does. And in fact, this is actually old data, and in the last year, the charts aren't made this way anymore, and so I can't put a chart that shows this next year. But in the last year, Facebook actually is bigger than Google. It is getting far more page views each month than Google does. So now let's look at MySpace. Again, we've got Google in the blue, and then we've got MySpace in the red. And as you can see, MySpace spent most of the year getting more traffic than Google. Now, you think that's interesting. Now, check this out. Blue line is Google. Red line is YouTube. So YouTube gets almost double the number of page views that Google does every single day of the year. Now, as soon as you see that, you start realizing, wow, there is some serious traffic being done here. But what's really interesting is how fast this has all happened. If you go back to the beginning of 2006, you can see all this has happened. There was nothing before 2006. All this has happened since then. And these lines are continuing. In fact, there are some areas, especially Twitter, which is continuing at a much steeper slant than you're seeing here. So now let's just sit back and say, all right, so they're getting lots of page views, but how many people are actually involved? Well, 2/3 of all the people on the Internet are active in social media. In fact, of everyone on the Internet, 64% of them are on MySpace, 29% of them are on Facebook, 35% are on YouTube, and 27% of them are on Wikipedia. Facebook adds 600 to 750,000 new users every single day. And it's interesting because I was using this slide a year ago, and let me show you what that slide said a year ago. So notice the 600 to 750,000. A year ago it was 100 to 250,000. So they've gone from 100 to 600, or 250 to 750,000 in just 1 year of additional new users every day. How would you like to have 750,000 new customers showing up on your site voluntarily every single day without you having to do any advertising? Well, that's exactly the situation that Facebook is living with right now. Now, some of you are saying, well, Facebook is all about kids. You know, it's nothing for real people, people who have money, people who buy. Well, by the way, first off, if you think the kids don't have money, you're wrong. But secondly, let me just show you a couple of things. Here's a couple of facts. This is from ComScore, press release. More than half of MySpace visitors are now 35 or older. 51% of them are 35 or older. Here's a headline from Businessweek. Fogies flock to Facebook. 41% of everyone on Facebook is 35 plus. The fastest growing group on Facebook is women over 50. In fact, there's a lot of headlines that have been coming out lately that says your mom's on Facebook. And that's exactly true. Your mom is probably on Facebook. You ought to be there too. By the way, if Facebook was a country, it would be the 8th most populous country in the world. Now, there's a lot of different sites out there. In fact, I track currently over 1,600 different websites that are all social media related. Now, I realize that that's probably a very intimidating number for you, and you're saying, wait a minute, I don't have time to become involved in anything like that. Well, that's why we're here tonight, is so that I can show you a few steps that you can start taking right now to focus in on the places that really, truly give you great results very, very quickly. And the key thing that's really interesting is the average marketer is clueless about this. What does that really mean for you? It means your competition has no idea of the power. That they may be aware that it's powerful, but they have no idea how to utilize that power and make it really start working for you. That's why you're here tonight, to learn some of that power. And the one thing that's really fun with all this is that now you no longer have to be a rocket scientist to get into Google. You can get into Google as a normal person, and you can get great rankings. In fact, I do a study where I watch the 5,000 of the top what I call money terms. A money term is a term that costs over 50 cents per click to buy that traffic from Google. And so these are terms that not only cost a lot, but conceivably make people a lot of money because they're willing to spend over 50 cents for each visitor to come to their site. And so as I track 5,000 of those, I discovered that 18% of all first page results in Google were social media sites. And so on average, in the top 10 results on Google, 2 of them are social media sites on every single first page. On average for the 5,000 top money terms. And if you go down into what we call the long tail terms, so instead of insurance, it might be life insurance in Cincinnati, you will find that that number of 2 sites per page is considerably higher for some of the longer tail terms. Now, does this generate longer term traffic? Well, let me show you this. This is Sherman Hugh. He's one of the faculty members at StomperNet. He gets 25 to 35% of all of his long-term traffic from social media. Here is Ed Dell, another StomperNet faculty member. He gets over 100 new members a week to one of his programs, and his is solely marketed through Facebook. So that shows you some of the power of this social media. And by the way, I could give you a whole bunch more facts. I actually have about 100 slides that I cut out of this presentation because I wanted to really get into the meat. But I wanted to give you some background that this is a huge opportunity with lots going on. But we still have this major problem that exists in the internet marketing world. And so I'm going to step out of my social media hat for a moment, and I'm going to put on my internet marketing hat. And I'm going to show you a major problem that we have, and that is this. What we do is we get people to come to a search engine or to someplace else. We throw an ad in front of them, or we get a natural search engine result. And from that, they click directly into a sales page where we offer to sell them something. In other words, we're going from the very first moment of meeting them directly into asking them to make a commitment with us. And I can't think of very many things that are more anti the way people really work than this process that we use on the internet every single day, where we run a pay-per-click ad or we run a search engine, get great search engine placement, and we send them directly to some place where we're asking them to buy something from us. That's not the way people work. People want to develop a relationship with you in between. So I want you to imagine for a moment that I'm single and that I really want to get married. And so I go down to the local jeweler and I buy this beautiful solitaire ring, and I got it in my nice box, and I say, okay, it's time to go get married. And so I go down to the local bar and I get dressed up in my nice polyester suit, and I put on my ugly looking tie, and I go and I sit down and I look around and I say, okay, I'm looking for somebody that's marriageable material. And then I finally see her. And so I go over and I sort of slide into the booth, and I slide in over to next to her, and I say hi, and I open up the ring and I say, would you marry me? And what do you think the reaction is going to be? Yeah, that's exactly the reaction that's going to be. She's running away. Why is that? Because in the real world, we don't meet someone and then ask them for a commitment. We go through a process of building intimacy with them, building